Yo, what's up guys, how's everyone doing? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Guys, as you know, it has been a pretty good one for us today. Okay, let's recap what we were talking about in the previous stream. Obviously, we did have a lot of things going on, a very uncertain range right here. And I did outline some of what my play would be. What I was talking about yesterday, focusing on quite a lot, was this range that we were trading in. By the way, please let me know if everything is good. Is the audio and everything okay? It says I'm not live, is that right? Okay, so I am live here. I think it should come up in a second. But I was talking about how we were trading within this range, and it was like a sideways range that we were in before. Hang on, it looks like we do have some issues. Is the stream key like? Are you sure? Yo, it says I'm live. I'm good? Okay. Someone's saying I'm good. Can't hear you. Still says waiting. God, what's going on? Alright, let's try this again. No audio, no screen action. What's up? Okay, so we had a fake out. Our live stream faking out a little bit. We weren't live at a point, and now we are live. But let's just get right into it, guys. Please let me know if everything is fine, works now. Okay, got the audio coming on now. Okay, guys, let's get straight into it. And, you know, like I mentioned, we were trading within this sideways range, and there were really two things that could happen. We could find support at about 7,200, and then carry on ranging higher. That would play in fairly nicely, having a nice little rally up, retracing a fair bit, and then going up again. But I did mention that the bears were still showing a lot of strength, or rather, the bears were still in control, not so much showing their strength, and the reason we were able to find that out is because we did actually get a dump yesterday, which really I didn't expect to see. Now, if we take a look at the daily chart, this is really quite unholy, really. I mean, we've had 6 days now, I believe, of complete downwards movement, which in itself is not so bad. If we look at, some analysts do like to look at how many days we get straight movement, whether it's green or red, and you get typical periods of 6, 8, or 9 days of either red movement or blue movement or green continuously with no breaks, and then you get a reversal. And so this 6-day thing hasn't really happened. We haven't reversed here, and so it's a very dodgy thing. I mean, usually it's fine if we're going down for this many days in a row. It's just that we've gone down by so much continuously, and really this is not something I would have expected. But nonetheless, it is what happened, and like I said, guys, last stream, this is a very, very dangerous area to be trading in. It's not something that I like to take the risk with. Everything's good, thank you. It's not something that I'd like to take the risk with, but I did outline some of what my play would be, because like I said, below 7,200, we don't have much resistance. I mean, really, there's hardly anything, and so it's going to be a very nice range to trade from here to here. I said exactly these things in the last stream. If we do throw on the VPVR indicator, you guys can see yet again why that is. I mean, if we just zoom out here, you can see that, for those of you who don't know what this indicator is, it shows you how much trading action is happening at set prices. And so if we do zoom out and make this chart a little bit easier to see, what it's telling us is that there's a lot of trading going on between 7,400 and 7,500, but then just below that there's no trading going on until about 6,700. And so that's a very big gap of trading, where if we're entering this zone from above, we're almost definitely going to fall down to the next high volume range, and if we're entering from below, we're almost definitely going to hit the next high volume range above. And that, guys, you know, like I said, I played this long, going from 6,500 up to about 7,400. We called that in VIP. We got a nice 2-3x profit. And we did the same thing today, guys. Let's take a look at what happened here. So I put out a signal, stop market short for 7,200. This means that, I want to show you on this chart here, I posted this signal when we were right here, so this was 3rd of August, just after midnight, and what I said is you can place a stop market short for $7,200, a price of where this line is, and so that means once the price falls down to this level, it's going to trigger a short on your account, and that means if we do bounce down to, say, 7,205, and then we go up and we start another bull run, we're safe. That means we won't have a short activated. But if it does go as low as 7,200, then our risk is incredibly slim, because the chances are it's going to keep dropping way lower. This is how we operate in VIP, guys. We minimize the risk and we make the rewards extremely high, because as you can see, this was a 3.4% drop from 7,200 down to our current low, actually, which is 6,880. And so 3.4 times 25 is an 80% gain. And of course, we did drop even lower than that. So we are looking at more than a 2x gain, yet again happening within the space of like 2-3 hours. So pretty solid stuff. You know, just some of the images I stitched together here to show you guys, you know, I do give leverage and some indication of what kind of risk, you know, moderately high risk here. And we'd catch a dump in process and profit from that about 2x. So a lot of great success coming from the VIP group yet again. I mean, like I posted in gold, we are upholding our nearly perfect track record. Now, as for where it's going to go moving forward, it's a little bit difficult to say, but on the whole, like I did show you with our volume, like I have been showing you with our Fibonacci retracement, let's actually go ahead and draw this again. And for those of you who don't know, this is just something where it mathematically aligns with market psychology, and it's extremely strange how it does it literally perfectly, because most of the time a stock or Bitcoin or whatever will retrace. If it's in a bull run, it will go up and it's going to retrace what it went up by 61.8% and then continue up higher. This is very, very normal market action, and 61.8% is the magic number. And guys, if we look at how well this green line lines up with my yellow $6,800 support and resistance line, it is uncanny. I mean, it really is sort of unsettling, and so it lines up perfectly. And what this is telling us is, you know, just given that we, you know, even at 6,000, where are we now? $6,900. There's hardly any trading that goes on. I mean, if we look at this historically, every time we hit a range like this, there was hardly any trading, and we just went back down. Again, zoom out a little bit more. When we hit this range, hardly any trading, we just went right up. When we hit this range, I mean, there was no real fight. We just went back down, and, you know, same thing here. So historically, this range has not been a very powerful support or resistance, and so that is why I do think we are at least going to see levels like 6,800. And then, you know, what it becomes is a case of the title of the stream. And guys, before I do carry on, please make sure to smash those likes up, subscribe, tick the bell if you haven't already. But like I mentioned in the title, even with the thumbnail, Bitcoin doomsday or huge opportunity, because really, guys, like I said, the last chance for Bitcoin will be 6,800. This is the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, and so really this is our last line of defense. It is the strongest level of defense that we have, but it is our last one. And really what that means is if we dip below this, the bull run is no longer intact. And the reason for that is we would have gone up, we would have gone down too low to mean that our bullish bias still remains. And really we won't know what's going to happen until the time comes. Now I have very good news for you guys, because if we do look at how we've gone down within this trend, take off this fib retracement real quick. I can't do that. Okay, there we go. I mean, you know, like I've been saying, we've been going down for so many days consecutively that right now, I think going down to $6,800 is the best case scenario, not only because it's going to mean that I'll be up about 150%, probably something like that, but also much more than that. Because if we do drop down to this level and then retrace, that's going to play in perfectly with having 6 to 9 consecutive red candles and then getting a reversal. Because guys, it's not going to be a free fall. I guarantee you can write this on paper and sue me if it doesn't happen. Bitcoin is not going to continuously go down forever now. There are going to be blue-green candles breaking this trend up. There are going to be fake rallies up, at the very least, if we are going down to $0. And so if we just look at basic candle counting patterns, it does look like, I mean, it aligns so perfectly that we could end up going down to this $6,800 resistance and then get at least one blue candle on the daily. And what that could mean is, guys, if the bulls do show power, if it's, you know, what you get with markets, guys, and this is more about the general theory of markets, is, I should probably take off all this stuff. You know, you break an important level, which in this case is 6,800. And we did break it here, and what happened at this range is there are a lot of buyers who wanted to buy their Bitcoin at this point. They wanted to buy the breakout, but they didn't get a chance to. I mean, it's understandable. We got rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, up to 7 times. I talked about this before, and so because people didn't get a chance to buy their Bitcoin at this level, now that we're retracing, what we could see just in general markets is that they are going to buy this dip because it's the level they wanted to buy in before. It's kind of like FOMO, but it's, shall I say, calculated and smart FOMO, because what it is they wanted to buy the breakout, they didn't get a chance to, so now that it's dipped down to this level, they get a second chance, and this is when they can buy back again, and really that is what could start up a nice little rally for our trend. It's a very, very good piece of news in my opinion, and it lines up so well because we've got this 618 retracement, and we have got many consecutive and fairly large, sell-off candles, and so bear in mind, we are looking at the daily chart right now. This is 24 hours of trading with each candle. I mean, that's a really long time for the Bitcoin market. And so, well, actually, yeah, going on to that nice transition there, I guess, this is the issue. I mean, this is the Bitcoin market. And so I've been using very carefully chosen words you guys will know by now. And one of those carefully chosen words here was general markets, because Bitcoin is obviously, as you will know, not one of them. There is the sentiment is so fragile, people are so upset with this whole space right now that there is a distinct possibility that we're just going to hit 6,800 and then fall right through it, or potentially consolidate a little bit, maybe get my drawing tool out. We may go down to about this level, consolidate a little bit, and then continue down. Perfectly viable pattern that Bitcoin could play out, and really there isn't much saying that it won't happen. And this is I guess this is the game that we're in. This is the kind of thing that we're trying to predict. I think, like I said, I mean, if we look at this drop, as I said last stream, there is no news that drove this down. People will be able to reach out and grab for news articles that are slightly bearish or even very bearish, but there is nothing distinct, there's nothing huge, like Donald Trump suddenly says that Bitcoin is illegal and everyone who uses it is a rapist. I mean, there's nothing like that. There's nothing big enough to justify a sell-off like this, apart from fear, apart from market psychology, apart from exhaustion, apart from very, very fragile sentiment. Guys, like I said in the last stream, fear is an extremely powerful emotion, perhaps the most powerful in humans, and and by virtue, it is the most profitable emotion to trade off. I mean, we traded this dip like a video game. I always say, I mean, trading feels like a video game to me. It's, when you know what's up, when you know what you're doing, it becomes very predictable. And so that is why I was willing to take that risk. I mean, it's the first trade I made in a long time, and we just smashed it out of the park, as we do in VIP. And the reason for that is we were trading on this fearful emotion, and there is a good chance that this fear in the market is gonna stay, and the dip won't be brought back up. There is a chance that because we went up to 8,500, we've now dropped by nearly $2,000. If we go down to 6,800, there is a chance that the buyers just aren't going to be there. Because, I mean, if we look at the news we saw today, we saw the New York Stock Exchange launching support for trading digital assets, including Bitcoin. It was something like that. Either they started it now, or they're going to start it soon. We saw a bunch of other bullish news, all of which escapes me right now because I'm having to say it off the top of my head. But none of this actually resulted in bullish moves for Bitcoin. I mean, it's crazy, during all of this bullish news, and the bullish news has been A, stronger than the bearish news in terms of significance, and B, also much more frequent during these drops, and it hasn't resulted in Bitcoin climbing higher. So either that means that pressure from buyers is being bottled up and they're going to unleash and just completely FOMO candle everything, and we're going to hit 68 and then we'll in one candle go up to $8,000 maybe. Obviously probably not, none of this is financial advice, but like I've said, this could be something where the buyers are being bottled up, and once it hits 6,800 maybe it's going to consolidate a little bit and then pump up, or maybe once it's just hit 6,800 it's going to pump right up just like that within the same few minutes. Very, very possible. And what that is going to mean is we are going to get some very nice green action. But on the other hand, because this bullish news is not influencing the market. In the face of all this bullish news, we've dropped so far. There is also very little to say that we're going to, you know, do that thing where we drop down to 68 and then we go up. I mean, it could stay the exact same when we just drop lower than 68. And guys, like I said, if we do drop below 68, there is really not much leeway left for the bulls. I mean, that's gonna be a 100%, well, it's going to be a 62% retracement if we drop below 6,800, but I mean, that's going to quickly approach a 100% retracement, and obviously that does not mean it's a bull run. That's going to mean we had yet another fake out bull trap rally. And you know, as you know, we do take a look at these Ichimoku clouds. Go ahead and switch this on. I mean, you know, 1 rejection, 2 and 3, and you know, it's roughly $1,500 spaced apart. So we had 11,600, 1,500 down. We had $10,000, and then 1,500 down. We had 8,500, and you know, we had the same M-shaped pattern here, roughly an M-shaped pattern here, and yet another M-shaped pattern here. So if this was a rejection, it's clear as day. Okay, I mean, if it was, we've seen it, and it's very, very clear. But there is a chance, as always. The reason we trade these markets is that there's always a chance, there's always a little speculation that we can profit from. There is a chance that once it does go down, it's just, I mean, this dip down is just a bit of a retracement. Perhaps we fall down to this long-term support, which you guys did see me draw out quite a long time ago. And then we continue up with our uptrend, and we have a 61.8% retracement, and we start going up again, and we start setting new higher highs. You know, if we were to do this, if we do bounce off 61.8%, 6,800, and then we reach 8,500 again, and we pass it, perhaps passing it by, you know, 10, 15, 20%, we can very confidently say that our downtrend is over. You know, if we start reaching levels like $10,000, what that's going to mean, now reached this previous high, and that means we're not setting lower highs within our trend anymore. We are now setting higher highs and higher lows in the macro trend. So I'm talking about, you know, the 1 day, 3 day candles. That's going to be great news, and really all it does depend on is the 6,800 zone. I mean, it's why I'm placing so much stress on it, because really it is make or break time for Bitcoin at that stage. Now, in light of this, am I going to be trading it? Absolutely not. Unless there is something that comes up that makes me feel a little bit more sure, leaning one way or the other, either bearish or bullish, for this $6,800 range, I have zero intentions of trading this, because like I said, literally it could go up or down, and we don't know. We don't know if this is some bullish bias being bottled up and ready to explode, or if it's literally just complete exhaustion and depression, and the bulls are no longer here, and the positive news is doing nothing. We're just going to keep on going down, breaking down these support levels, going down to hell, and you know, we don't know. And that's not the kind of uncertainty that I trade in. I mean, you guys saw the profits. Everyone just tuning in now, shout out to the live viewers, of course, guys. Make sure you smash up those likes a little bit. You know, like I showed you near the beginning of this stream, I did give this order in VIP to place a short for Bitcoin once it goes down to $7,200. And the reason I didn't say to short where this arrow is that there's a chance we hit this level and then we continue on upwards to 7,700, 7,800, 7,900. And that would have meant a liquidation. But the way we played it is we sacrificed a little bit of returns to make our risk extremely small, you know. If we were to hit levels like 7,200, there is a very good chance that we're just going to keep on tumbling downwards and dumping, and so our risk is extremely small on this short order. And as you can see, with an 85% gain, much more than that at the low Bitcoin set, our reward is still, I mean, no one, literally, we look at the alt market and no one has got gains like this. Let me just refresh the page. No one has gains like this in the whole market. I mean, everything, it's a 6% down day for Bitcoin. Most other alts holding up better than Bitcoin because they did have a bit of a rally yesterday. You know, Ethereum Classic is probably the best one today in the top 100, and that's only up 10%. And so really it is you know, the way I see it, it is margin trading where the money is being made at the moment. I mean, you can be buying and selling Bitcoin. Of course, that is completely fine. We've got Empower Coin, another total shit coin. I don't even know what it is. I don't need to know to tell you that it's a shit coin. You know, this is where the market is heading. I mean, I got a question. I mean, a message today. You know, someone was like, I was watching my portfolio go down. Actually, this was in the VIP chat. I was watching my portfolio go down this whole time, and you know, now making very nice profits trading on margin with us. And I mean, you know, looking at the overall volume here on this page, we've got $12.5 billion, up from about 11.7 billion, even slightly lower levels. On the whole, this is very good. We are getting slightly increasing volume, but the volume hasn't increased hugely. And so, guys, back to the good news. Since our volume hasn't increased by a large margin, I mean, we're talking only by about, I don't know, 10% max, maybe 5 to 10% up today during this hugely red day. Yet again, what that is showing us, like I've been saying throughout this entire downtrend, is that the bears are showing weakness. They are in control, but they're showing weakness. And so what that could mean is that when we do see the volume coming back in, if we do, that volume is going to be predominantly green volume. And really, I mean, it lines up so perfectly, like I said, where we've been having so many red candles and we could be going down and then ready to rocket up. That's exactly why the thumbnail of this video is a green arrow down followed by a massive green arrow up. You know, if I had to choose between the two, I do of course have a bullish bias. I love Bitcoin. My bias will always be bullish, but of course that doesn't mean I can't short it to accumulate more Bitcoin. You know, an 85% day is pretty good to double your Bitcoin balance. I love Bitcoin, and my bias is leading me to say that instead of going below 6,800, we are actually going to bounce off. I mean, it lines up really well. Fundamentally, there is no reason to continue downwards, and there is every reason to go up higher. So we're probably going to know our answer to this within the next day or so. I mean, I don't, you know, probably by this weekly close on Sunday, midnight UTC, if not Monday or Tuesday at the absolute latest, I think we'll know what's going to happen very soon. And really, I think that's going to be quite telling for the entire trend. I mean, if we fail this rally, it's not looking hopeful for Bitcoin. So yeah, I think that's a lot of my analysis done, guys. Let's smash up those likes once more. Of course, if you are interested in VIP, go ahead, join our Telegram channel. The link is in the description, and then just below that link you will find instructions. Just go ahead and find my name at the bottom of gold posts and click on that and then message me. That is the only way to join. But I am ready to go through your questions real quick, guys. So, seriously, I'm waiting for Trump's TA. I don't think I have the most up-to-date questions right now. Is my chat loading up? For flies, please check the 30-minute RSI. It's totally oversold, and there is a bearish divergence. Ilian Crypto, I stopped looking at 30-minute charts back in 2017. They are completely useless in my opinion. The only reason I would look at a smaller time frame chart than about 4 hours or 2 hours, maybe even 1 hour, is just to see volume. I mean, it's just to see if volume is confirming our short-term trend. But if you're asking me to look at the RSI, I won't do it because it's just not reliable in my opinion. What else have we got? Trump is the king. It's been 7K all summer. Then a small bump, then back to where it was. It's all doom and gloom. Yep, completely agree. Can I take a look at ETH as an indicator for a bounce? ETH is not a reliable indicator for the entire market. It's actually one of the worst indicators for the entire market. But nonetheless, it is something I'm interested in trading. And yeah, I mean, you guys know what I'm about to say. I mean, it's dropped to this very important support level, which is a very long-term support. I mean, when did we have this support in? This was since October. It's breached a very long-term support here, and yeah, seeing as Ethereum has respected it so many times, that's not a good sign. That's really all I can say for Ethereum, though. I haven't been doing too much analysis into it, not nearly as much as I do with Bitcoin. Try to do the fibs from the impulse wave of the... I have no idea. You're going to have to send me a chart, Corentin. I can't, like, find out what you're talking about through these text comments. How is the weekly? No sugar. You misspelled sugar. I think you know now. I don't analyze the weekly very much because this is not where I excel. It's not where I'm a good analyst. We did have one of our other analysts in VIP posting a chart on the shorts though, and you can find that in gold. So you can get thoughts on that. I did post it in gold. I forwarded it. So go ahead and join the gold channel and you'll be able to read it. Bear flag forming $7,000. Yeah, I mean, it's Renzo. I think it's very obvious. We are going to be forming, you know, we had a brief pause in this trend. I mean, we've got one 4-hour candle with a bit of a reaction rally. Hardly a rally. A bit of a reaction candle, you know, consolidating around this. I mean, this is hardly even a range, is it? I mean, let's see. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, that's 1% of Bitcoin's trading, and it's most definitely, I think, going to paint a bear flag. There's a very slim chance that we find the bottom here and then we go up. I think it's almost definite that we are at least going to see 6,800. But of course, none of this is financial advice. Do I think 6,800 will hold? Mongol, please rewind. It dipped below 6K a few months ago. Yes, it did. Which time frame do I find the most reliable? Personally, I think it's the daily time frame. Zuver, in my opinion, it is the daily time frame. Yeah. I don't look at it as much because every day we get much more 4-hour data than we get 1-day data. But the 4-hour has not been a reliable indicator for me lately, which is why you have seen me using the 3-day and 1-day chart a lot more recently. And it is, yes, it is the 1-day chart that I find to be the most reliable within this case. What else have we got? 6 days for ETF approval. Just hold. Yeah, I mean, yo, what's your name there? Enric. It lines up perfectly, Enric. I mean, you know, let's say we consolidate around 6,800 for 6 days. Let's actually see how long that would be, and if it lines up with our. This is textbook. Okay, let me make that a little bit more clear. Yeah, I mean, look at that. So it's literally like as perfect as it can get. Within 6 days, this would be the 10th. Okay, sorry, that would be the 10th hair. We would nearly be falling down to our previous sort of long-term uptrend support when we bottomed out at about 5,800. We'd fall down to this support level. We'd fall down to 6,800 support. I mean, it couldn't line up more perfectly than this, in my opinion. And if it's a bullish, I mean, if it's an approval, if that is what sends the bulls over the edge, I mean, you can't say you didn't expect that. I mean, that is so predictable. We will have to see what's happening. I mean, this is not something I would bet on. An ETF approval, you're asking, you know, you're basically putting the faith of your money into the U.S. government, and that alone should be enough to scare you. But if it's not, you know, you're kind of out of control of of the decision that they rule on, and so. Like I said, unless something changes to make me feel more confident in one way or the other, I'm just not going to trade this range. But nonetheless, you can take some comfort in knowing that if we are going to be bullish, I mean, this, back to the 3-day, it literally couldn't line up any better than this. I mean, you know, we've had increasing volume now. We are seeing the volume MA rise. We've had a bit of an uptrend. We've had a couple, 3-day red candles. And, I mean... Yeah, this is, it's crazy how these markets always align to be pretty perfect, isn't it? I mean, it's so fascinating. Check out what else we've got in these comments, guys. How's everyone's day been? It's been okay for me, of course, taking those driving lessons, as you will know, and I'm nearly up to 10. I mean, I actually think I'm ready to take the test, but I have a feeling that my instructor... well, he said it quite clearly. He thinks I should wait, but I'd like to get my license now and start driving around in that Audi a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I guess I do love rules. I guess, you know, rules are pretty nice. You know, if we can be as close to the Germans in terms of how much we respect rules, I won't complain. So I am okay to wait a little bit more. More volume, 2-2. I think we are going to get a little bit more volume, especially as we hit levels like 6,800. Especially if we start going up, I think we are going to see a lot more volume following through with that. It looks like a head and shoulder going down. Is that a sign? Israel's blessing. I am not seeing a head and shoulder here at all. Are you talking about the 3-day or talking about the 1-day or 4-hour? But either way, there is no head and shoulders pattern that I'm seeing. Bring a bus and driving exam. Do I ever use trailing stops? No, I don't. ETF insiders may be dumping because of imminent disapproval. Comments. Lenin, I think that is a bit too far down the rabbit hole of insider trading. My comment is I don't agree in that case. What if ETF delay for 45 to 90 days? Danny, that would be pretty disastrous, wouldn't it? I have no idea. We'll just we'll see what happens when the time comes. And for now, we'll continue to look for opportunities to trade. If it gets delayed by 45 to 90 days, I can't say. I mean, I don't look that far ahead. So, we've got this ETF approval in 6 days. 6 days. That is much more closer to where my area of expertise, I guess, is. I mean, it's the short to mid term. I don't even know what's going to happen next week. So 45 to 90 days, way beyond what I can predict. Corrington, so 4 flies on the 4-hour. Try doing fibs from 6,075 low to our 8,500 high. Don't know how to send you a chart. Okay, well, see, 6,075 is not our low. Do you mean this? Okay, I mean that you could class this as our low, but that is not a good place to put a Fibonacci retracement in my opinion. Let's just see what it's telling us anyway though. I have seen a couple charts like this. Yeah, so we are on the 618 retracement. Exactly here, so it could mean that we do start going up now. It does line up 0.5 retracement lining up with our 7,200 sort of area of support. 0.382, yeah, also lining up with 75. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, this retracement lines up very well as well. The only thing is, when you're using these Fibonacci retracements, you want to start them from where you actually bottom out. So, in real terms, our bull run, our uptrend actually started from way down here. And so that is why you see me placing my Fibonacci retracements at these levels. And much more so than that, if we do place the Fib retracement here, of course, as you will know, 618 is our most powerful, most significant retracement. And there is nothing significant about this $7,000 area where the 618 line falls. And so it's much more likely to be a bottom out at about 5,000. Sorry, to start this at 5,800. But guys, with that, I am going to be having to run. I have got quite a lot of important things to be getting on with, so I just wanted to give you a quick market update. I say quick, it's been about 30 minutes, but as you know, it is my absolute pleasure to be running these streams, guys. Please make sure to smash up those likes once more, subscribe, tick the bell, and of course, if you're not already in the Telegram group, the link is below, and if you want to get into VIP, just find my name at the bottom of any gold post, click on my name, and then message me, how do I join VIP? That is the only way. There are still people getting scammed. That is the only way to join VIP, guys. But yeah, with that, my overall thoughts, we'll just see what happens right now. We've had some nice trades, and yeah, now is the time to sit back and relax and enjoy the profits, really. Guys, with that, I'm going to be signing off. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'm out. Peace.